What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? I'm popping them out tonight. I'm trying to get caught up, y'all. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is gonna be Real Housewives of Dallas, season 3, episode 4, I believe this is. Was it? No. I'm way off. This is like episode 11 or something like that. I'll put it the right one in the description. I apologize, but all right, y'all. So look, the ladies are getting ready to go to Copenhagen. Now we have done some extravagant trips in the past, but Copenhagen has never really been. I love to travel, and I travel the world, and always looking for new and exciting places to go. Copenhagen has never been at the top of my list, but I'm looking forward to see what goes on in Copenhagen, because maybe I'll add it to my list. I like warm locations. Copenhagen does not seem like a warm destination. I could be wrong. That could be my ignorance showing, but at least I know what the fuck Copenhagen is. Unlike Stephanie, and I like you, Stephanie. But Stephanie didn't know where Copenhagen was. Now, again, it ain't in your top. Like when you think of, great places to visit, I'm sure Copenhagen doesn't come to the top. But you at least know where it is. Anyway, so the episode starts off with Carrie sending the ladies these interesting care packages, inviting them to go to Copenhagen, and she's actually saying it in Danish. Danish. And of course, they were confused, and she was sending them stuff like pickled herring. Pickled herring is one of those things that if you like it, you like it. But I'm sure it's an acquired taste. And that's the nicest way I can say that. I'm not a fish person anyway, so, I can give you... It's funny because I do one extreme or the other. I love salmon. I love tuna. But all that falls in the middle, not my thing. I've tried caviar, not my thing. It's like, okay, this is what people are paying a whole lot of money for, not my thing. Pickled herring, not my thing. But the ladies are excited to go, and they're looking forward to go, and Carrie's looking forward, to just reconnecting with her family and everything. It must be nice to be able to trace your family roots back. Must be nice. Anyway, moving on. So, then we see, let's get to the good shit. So, Leanne is going dress shopping, and Stephanie goes with her, and some of her other friends are there. Deandra, who's supposed to be the maid of honor, is MIA. Now, Leanne said she sent Deandra the invite. Deandra told her she had too many things to do and she wasn't going to be able to make it. Now, on Twitter, I don't like to bring in outside shit into my reviews, but I just want to say this. On Twitter, Deandra said that the invitation was sent at the last minute and she already had commitments. But this is what I'm going to say. And I like Deandra. Deandra, I'm up and down this. I like her overall. But let me say this about Deandra. You've been asked to be the maid of honor in your best friend's wedding. Even though right now y'all are having some problems and y'all are going through some things, that is still your best friend. I don't know how this went down. But unless it was something that you just absolutely positively could not get out of, I don't understand why you wouldn't be there. But that's not my business. I mean, it is my business because I'm doing the review, but you know what I'm saying. Now, let me tell y'all who the MVP is of this episode for me. The MVP is Mama Bear. Deandra's mama is my MVP. Let me tell y'all something. Now, she has gotten on my nerves in the past to the point where I really didn't care for her at one point. And I was like, no disrespect to her mama, but I wasn't really rocking with her mom. But Deandra's mama, number one, Deandra's mama had Deandra's back. Do you hear me? When I tell you she was all 100% Mama Bear, like if you coming for mine, you going to have a problem. 2, she was giving Deandra some really good advice. And 3, she was letting Deandra know that just because you are at a certain level in society or perceived to be, that does not mean you give your life over to it. Unlike Cameron, who seems to feel like Cameron and Leanne, who seems to feel like because you have a certain last name that your life is supposed to belong to other people, right? So anyway, we're going to get there in a minute. So while this Deanne Leandra thing is killing me. While Leanne was dress shopping with Stephanie, and she put on some very expensive looking dresses. I wasn't crazy about all the styles, but they look nice on her now. They definitely look nice on her. And But she was basically saying that she wanted to be surrounded by love and that she was disappointed that that Deandra wasn't there. And Stephanie was like, wow, I can't believe she's not here. But Stephanie was trying to be very positive. And I respect how Stephanie is playing this season. Stephanie is like, I'm finally in the inner circle. I ain't really trying to fuck up being in the inner circle. However, I'm still going to be honest about it. And so when Leanne was kind of coming for Deandra, Stephanie was really trying to be neutral and say, look, I think you guys have just hit a bump in the road. Y'all really need to sit down and talk. She said, but what I don't want you to do, she said, this is a time you can't get back. This is your wedding. You're planning your wedding. She said, and what I would hate to see happen is 5 years from now or 2 years from now or a year from now even, and y'all work all of this out, that you look back and you realize, wow, my best friend wasn't at my wedding. So she was like, I really think y'all need to sit down and really work this out. And you know what? I can respect you for that, Stephanie, because that was some really great advice. Like, you didn't co-sign for Leanne. You ain't give the amen corner. You didn't tell her what she wanted to hear. You gave her some good shit. And I can appreciate that. Because she said, you know, when me and Brandy fell out, I missed so much and I regret it because I feel like at the end of the day it was over something stupid. Girl, that was some good stuff, Stephanie. You was giving them some good stuff. Now, on the other side of town, we see Deandra having a conversation with her mom. I'm sure this didn't happen at the same time, right? But Deandra's talking to her mom, and Deandra's talking about what happened with the whole cooking thing. And she was telling her mom how she felt attacked and the whole thing that went down with Cameron's mother-in-law, what's her name, Jerry, and all of that. First of all, Mama Bear said, see, you know what your first mistake was? Your first mistake was that you sat there and listened to that shit. But she didn't curse, but I'm cursing. She said, what you should have done the minute they started going left, what you should have done was stop them and said, I appreciate what you, I thank you and I appreciate your concern. But this isn't the time or the place. Let's do lunch one day next week and talk about it. She said, see, that's your problem. You should have shut that shit down from the beginning, and then there would be no further need for a conversation. That was your first problem. She said, and second of all, who the fuck is Jerry? You know, Deandra said, well, you know, she is, you know, the queen mother of Dallas society. Mama Bear said, she is? I didn't know that. I said, you better go ahead with the slick shade. You better go ahead with the slick shade. So then Deandra was talking about how, you know, she really feels like, you know, that Leanne is really pushing their relationship aside and really throwing their relationship away or whatever. And Mama Bear said, well, let her go. She said, if her and Cameron want to go over there and be her and Cameron, let it go. And look, I had to write this shit down, y'all, because I don't even know what it means, but it was funny as shit. She said, you tell them how the cow ate the cabbage. Now, I don't have any idea what the fuck that means, but I like it. She said, you tell them how the cow ate the cabbage. I said, okay. I'm sure that was an insult. Because the way she said it, I don't know what the fuck it means. But I had to write that thing down. But she basically was telling Deandra right. She said, look, you cannot control how other people feel about you. You can only control you and what you want to do. She said, you are not beholden to anyone. She said, I've been a Simmons a lot longer than you've been a Simmons. She said, and you have to understand that you do what that people will do what you allow them to do. She said, yes, I am a Simmons, and yes, that means something. But no, it does not mean you have to give over your whole life to that. She said, and you don't have to listen to it. You don't have to listen to other people. She said, you know, Leanne came to me with that whole you're an alcoholic bullshit, and I ain't like that either. She said, because it is a very sensitive situation, because your natural father was an alcoholic, and I don't like that because it would make me worry if I believed it. And that's another thing why I like her mother, because her mother said, I don't believe that shit just because Leanne came to me. I don't believe just because Leanne said it. I listened to her. I let her say her piece. She said, but I ain't really appreciate her coming at me like that. Like, I really didn't appreciate how she came at me because you've done nothing to make me feel like you have a problem. And then the other thing is Deanne is like, look, I've been trying to wriggle this goddamn company out of my mother's hands for the last 20 years. And just when I'm about to sign the paperwork, like her mother got the papers drawn up and everything. And just when we about to do it, here you come telling my mother that I'm a damn alcoholic and I could blow the whole damn deal. Like, what kind of friend is that? Now, on the other side of town, Leanne is talking to Cameron. Honey, Cameron got pink damn water. She got rose water. I said, her and this pink thing is just, it's too much. It's just too damn much. It's too much. But anyway, so it's her signature color, honey. So they're talking. I mean, of course, they're doing their whole thing, and she's her and Cameron are rehashing the whole, the whole situation that went down. Excuse me. They're rehashing the whole situation that went down, and she's talking about the fact that Deandra didn't come and help her shop for her wedding gown or whatever. And Cameron was like, "Who doesn't want to shop for wedding gowns?" Let me tell you something. I've been in a lot of weddings. I've even been a maid of honor or two, and I have managed to never have to help nobody shop for a wedding gown. Now, I've had to do the whole bridesmaid situation where I've had to go to David's Bridal or wherever else we had to go, and we had to get our dress and get our fitting and all of that. But I ain't never had to go to no wedding dress shopping. That is not my idea of a fun afternoon. It just is not. And so Leanne is doing what Leanne does. She's, and don't get me wrong, I think Leanne has some valid points in some of this. But this whole Deandra is an alcoholic thing, I don't like that. I don't like Leanne coming like that. And I just don't like it seems like this situation is becoming very venomous. And Cameron, again, is talking about how Deandra attacked her mother-in-law. And, and she just doesn't appreciate that. And Deandra's thing was, I found it very interesting that when I confronted Cameron about what she did to me, her first response was to flip it and make it about her mother-in-law instead of making it about her. So we have the event. They're doing a daytime slumber party at one of their friends that's a designer, Jack, somebody. And so they're wearing and it looks like his aesthetic is like old Queen of the Manor type gowns, like nightgowns, like those long flowy nightgowns with the cape overlays with the frilly sleeves and all that. Like very nice, very extravagant, like somebody said very dynasty era. And they were very pretty. I mean, not anything I would ever lounge around my house in, but again, that's loungewear for mansions, honey. That's mansion loungewear. And, Deandra is a marketing queen. I saw her in this episode. She has rebranded the whole she was able to rebrand the package of the green machine, which is like their signature. It's like a green drink. It tastes better. It has a better taste to it. People were saying how it has, and she was able to combine that with this party. The hard day, early morning line of skincare for older women. I guess it's for like people, not older women, but like, women in their 40s or whatever. And she was working the party. She had samples of the green machine, and she was explaining to people that they rebranded it, they remarketed it, that it tastes better. It has like a little a vanilla flavor to it, whereas before it literally tastes like grass, And here go Leanne. Well, I'm allergic to grass. This isn't grass, is it? And Leanne was like, well, growing up, I was allergic to everything. I was allergic to grass. I was allergic to the tree bark. I was allergic to cats and dogs. So was I. I had all those allergies. On every Friday, I had to go get shots. It's funny because to this day, I'm not scared of shots. When I go to the doctor and they have to give me a shot, they're expecting this reaction. And I just be like, use this vein because this vein is the better vein. Like I know because I'm used to getting shots. And so I understand. And thank God I grew out of a lot of those allergies. But I was that kid, couldn't get in the grass, everybody else running through the grass. And, of course I snuck and did it. But I had asthma and it would trigger my asthma. And so I understood where Leanne was coming from that point of view. But Leanne just being Leanne, I was just like, girl, go on, sit somewhere. She your best friend. She know your ass can't drink no damn grass. So during the midst of the party, what went down? A couple of things happened. Mama Bear was dead, right? So Mama Bear was being Mama Bear. So Leanne pulled Carrie aside to, I guess, plead her case. And she's talking about, no, it wasn't Leanne. It was Deandra. And she's telling Carrie what happened. She's recapping. And basically she's saying she doesn't know if she wants to go to Copenhagen because she don't know if she'll be safe. She's worried. She don't know if she even want to, rock with her, whatever. So, of course, Carrie is like, look, this ain't about you. This is about me. This is my trip. So, no, I don't want somebody to go if they're going to feel uncomfortable. But damn, does this have to be about you? So Carrie, something else happened because again, y'all know Carrie be trying to stay out of this shit now, but and Carrie was doing a really good job of trying to just stay neutral, but but she was a little irritated with Deandra, you know. Then we had on the inside, we had Mama Bear went over to talk to Leanne and let her know, look, this is stupid. Y'all need to make up. This is just dumb. Then we had Brandy and Carrie. Carrie and Brandy showed up together. So Mama Bear got to joking with Brandy and was like, the word on the street is you an alcoholic too. And Brandy was like, what? She said, yeah, word on the street is, that you and my daughter around here getting drunk and that you an alcoholic too. So, of course, Brandy is now irritated because Brandy is like, wait a minute. I'm in the midst of trying to adopt this baby. Nothing is set in stone. It's not a done deal. I do not need rumors running around Dallas that I'm a damn alcoholic. Like, that is not cool. And that could possibly cost me this adoption, which I think Brandy would kill somebody. Like, forget the TV, forget the cameras. Like, I think Brandy would kill somebody, which I would understand. But when it's all over said and done, Mama Bear was like, look, I don't believe that shit. I know it ain't true. Don't worry about it. You're a good friend of my daughter. You just keep having her back. And she went on over and let them know, look, don't make me have to come over to Copenhagen and whoop somebody's ass. That's my baby. And I got my baby's back. So I'm going to need you. I'm going to need y'all. Make sure y'all keep that shit together. I said, I know that's right, Mama Bear. You better let them know that you'll hop a plane to Copenhagen and whoop their ass. You better let them know. That was pretty much what happened at the party. And of course, Brandy and Deandra were like, thanks for having my back. Yeah, thank you too. Love you, boom, boom, okay. So Stephanie is having her wedding vows renewed. Now, what I loved about this whole situation is that her husband, Travis, could care less about renewing his vows. But he knew it was what she wanted, and he knew it was important to her, so he planned it. Now, what they said was that he planned it at the last minute, but he's a man. But he planned it, but it looked gorgeous. For last minute, it looked gorgeous. He must have hired the best party planner in Dallas, and they put it together because it is beautiful. It looked good. And Stephanie got into her wedding dress from 10 years ago. Let me tell y'all something. And she still looked good. Like, it didn't look like she had the squoze into it. She looked good. And she said it was important to her to be able to wear her wedding dress because she wanted him to look at her and remember that day all over again. But let's be real. You a woman. It was important to you to get in that dress because you wanted to get in that dress. I ain't mad at you, boo. I ain't mad at you. After 2 babies, you can still fit your wedding dress. And 10 years later, baby, that is something to behold. Now, Brandy was there for the beginning and Carrie was there. But Brandy was not able to stay because she said that because Travis threw this together at the last minute, her and Brian already had a prior engagement for his job. And something that, that he couldn't get out of. And, really his company, because I think her husband owns his own company. So I think it was for the company. So I guess the CEO and the wife of the CEO had to be there. But again, I say, how last minute was this? Because that's your best friend. And Stephanie said she was disappointed that Carrie couldn't be there. I mean, that Brandy couldn't be there, but she didn't want to make her feel guilty because she did already feel bad enough. So while they're getting ready, Carrie is basically recapping the whole thing. And what ends up coming out is that Leanne has been going around calling them drunk, saying that Leanne is an alcoholic. Now, of course, Leanne is claiming that she never used the word alcoholic, but Carrie was like, no, she said it. I heard it. She said alcoholic. And so that's been a whole issue. Of course, they're upset about that. And, Stephanie's like, I feel like I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of this, but I'm just trying to stay neutral with it. I was like, girl, you keep playing neutral, don't you? Don't you let yourself get caught in the middle of this bullshit. The other sweet thing that Travis did was he flew out he flew out Stephanie's maid of honor from the wedding as a surprise. And I thought that was so sweet. She said that was her best friend from college. They were roommates in college. And it was a surprise. She didn't know. So Travis did good. And it was nice. He gave his son the ring. Now, he didn't put the ring into a ring box. He just told that little boy to put that ring in his pocket. Now, had that little boy lost that ring, To me, it's a lot easier to lose a loose ring than it would have been for him to lose the ring box. And a lot easier to find if he had lost it or misplaced it. It's a whole lot easier to find the box than the ring. But it worked out. The baby had the ring. But, honey, as much as he spent on that ring, I wouldn't have just been like, here go the ring. But again, I thought it was sweet that he included the kids in the vow renewal. Now, when it was time for them to say their vows, his vows were about her, not him. Like, it was, when we got married, you made a couple of promises. You promised to love and honor. You've done that. You promised through sickness and health. You've done that. You promised through rich and poor. Well, you got lucky on that one. And I was just like, that's about her, not about you. Your vows are supposed to be about you, right? Not about her. But, okay, you like it, I love it. Anyway. Last but not least, they are getting ready to get on the plane to Copenhagen, and they, packing up and all this other stuff. Now, what I found was interesting was this. They get to the airport, and of course, Bravo is not paying for first class, honey. Bravo pays for coach. So they have coach tickets. Now, Cameron, Carrie, I think Brandy, and Stephanie all upgrade to first class. It's $1,200 to upgrade. Now, Leanne, we already know that Leanne don't have a whole lot of money. Like, that's something they've talked about for a few years. So, Leanne doesn't upgrade. But Deandra doesn't upgrade. And she said, how would it look? I just took this company over from my mom for me to splurge on first class tickets. Bitch, what? First of all, you got a corporate credit card. All you got to do is take some samples over there and try to shop it into a Copenhagen store and say it was a business trip. But I guess you can't say it's a business trip. Okay, don't listen to me because you go to jail. Don't listen to me. But now, I know we had this whole conversation about you having $200 in your bank account. But you do have $1,200 that you could upgrade, right? You couldn't. Like, I understand you don't want to use the company credit card. You can't upgrade. You don't have that. It's not. Okay. So anyway, they're on the plane. And so all the rest of the girls are in the front of the plane. Leanne and Deandra are in the back of the plane, but they're not speaking to each other. It's a mess. So anyway, y'all, that was last week's episode. I'm going to watch this week's episode, and I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to go ahead and drop that one tonight too, because I want to see what happened. It looked like a whole lot of shenanigans went down at the Copenhagen, y'all. So I'll let y'all know. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.